Hello, hello, everyone. Let's see here. Okay, I think everything is up and running. Let's see if Mindy or Cheryl or someone will tell me if everything looks good and sounds good. We'll get ready to go here. Let's see here. Let's see here. Hopefully Lori is still here, and I know Lisa will be popping in. Okay, Mindy is saying, yep, looks good. Okay, hello, Julia and Gail and Carol. Okay, now we've got some friends coming in. Natalie, hello in Canada. Cheryl says, looking good. Thank you, Miss Cheryl. Let's see here. All right. All right, so we're going to get started here. So on Monday night, I created a bunch of backgrounds with our newest 3D embossing folders. So we have the clover petals and the spring meadow is what those called. So we created all types of different backgrounds. Some were hits and some were misses, and that's okay because that is how we roll, right, as crafters. So I've got some pulled out that I'm going to create some cards with. One is a little more masculine, and then a couple are a little more on the feminine side with some florals and stuff. But so we're going to be ready to go, but I can show you some of that we created on Monday night. So if anybody's interested in that, you could always catch the replays, but we just tried all different, you can see the shimmer on that one, all different types of techniques and different kinds of inks and all kinds of things. So tonight I'm going to create 3 different cards, 3 totally different looks with what we made. Let's see here. Let's see. Hello, Nan in Ohio, and Christine and Susan. Hello. Let's see here. Shell Bell, hello. There's Lisa there. Perfect. Okay. And so all of you, I see all of you in the chat, and then I see some little eyeballs. I can see how many people we have. We're going to do a giveaway at the end of our live tonight. Hello, it's a Card Knock Live, my friend. Hey, Ricky. We're going to do a giveaway at the end of the night. And the way that we choose our giveaway winners all the time is just through random comments. And so those of you who are normally just lurkers, I urge you to pop in, leave a comment, tell us what you like, tell us what you're doing today, how's the weather, and then now I have the song stuck in my head. Oh, I don't know. Oh, yes, from Annie. I know, right? Let's see here. Just spent my gift card that I won a couple lives ago. Perfect, Christine. Can't wait to get her goodies. You're so welcome. And then we've got several of our design team members in the chat. So if you guys ever have questions for the design team, you can ask. Mindy is on the design team, and Ricky, who goes by Bromero Cards. It's a Card Knock Life is in the chat. And let's see, I don't see any. And Lisa, of course, is the knower of all things. And so Melinda and Ricky and Mindy all do video and reels. And there's Mari, I see, just popped in. Hello, Mari. Mari is another one of our fabulous design team members. And so you can check all their stuff out on our social media. Plus, a lot of times they come into the chat with us. Okay, so before we get started with card making, I do want to say that we have a free card class coming up in our challenge group. And our challenge group is over on Facebook. So it's called Honeybee Stamps Buzzworthy Challenges. And believe it or not, we have had, just in the last couple of days, about 200 people join our challenge group and are going to hopefully take part in our class. And so those of you who haven't come in and introduce yourselves in the challenge group, I urge you to do that. We would love to have you come in. It's completely free to you. And I just want you to come hang out and craft with me and chat as we go along. Let's see here. Yes, the honeybee design team is awesome. That is right. Gail, I got my email about it. Yes. Let's see. We got sunshine today. So excited. It's still a little cold. Susan, we have had sunshine as well. It has been nice. I was just telling one of the other ladies, I need to open the windows. Most of my family will be gone. It'll be semi-quiet. That is a nice day right there when you can just hang out and do your own thing. Let's see here. What's the difference between a regular embossing folder and a 3D one? A regular one is going to have two, it's more like 2D. So it's going to have a lowered area or what's going to give you that press into your paper, and then it's probably going to have a flat area. A 3D embossing powder, a 3D embossing folder is going to have 3 areas. So it's going to have like a low, a middle plane, and then a high. And so it's going to give you even more texture and even more detail. So I hope that that explains it well. Let's see, we're getting snow. Oof. Sunday morning in Georgia. Oh, well, I hope you do not send the snow to South Carolina. Let's see, do I need a special die to attend the class? Donna, there's a list of supplies there, and there's a discount code for the supplies. Like if you wanted to get that. And this is what I always tell our challenge group members is even if you don't want to get the same stamps and dies and whatever, it's a perfect time to stock up on Nina cardstock. It's the perfect time to stock up on your liquid adhesive and things like that, because that is all in that little bundle where there's a discount, and there's a discount code over there in the challenge group. Let's see here. Severance Play. I love that name. Can I go pick up my order in person? I'm about, yes, you can. All you have to do, let's see, just kidding. I haven't ordered recently. You can pick up your orders in person though. All you have to do is call and let them know that you're coming. They'll get it all ready for you and be ready to go. Okay, let's see here. Yes, Lisa's telling you can choose local pickup when you check out, and that way you don't have to pay for shipping. Let's see, I love to live close to stop by. Mindy, it's pretty cool. But then you have to go to work, though, if you stop by the warehouse. But that's kind of fun, too. All right, so I'm going to go down to my desk view here, and we're going to get started because we have 3 different cards to make this evening. And I'm going to start out with the more masculine version. Now, this is just the paper that I used that is mirrored cardstock. So it's just green mirrored cardstock. And so I'm going to make a kind of more masculine. It could go feminine too. And you could, of course, change up the sentiment and make it, something totally different. But I am going to add some of our lovely layers greenery pieces. And you can see that this started out as the same colored cardstock as the sentiment and the card base. And I thought, I don't want it to be all monochromatic. And so I heat embossed the whole thing in gold to make it like this chippy kind of metallic leaf. And I think it's going to be really pretty there on the green. And so I'm going to start putting this card together. If you have any questions, make sure that you let us know there in the chat. And we'll get to those. Let's see here. Hello, Lois in Utah. Let's see here. I missed the brand of this card. This cardstock is Tonic cardstock. And it is we sell it at Honeybee. There's all different kinds. If you go on the website and look at pull up different types of paper, there's all different types of paper. And I'm going to give this a little light rub down here so I can get those areas with that liquid adhesive to connect right here. And this is actually going to be the most simple of the 3 cards I'm doing. So I'm going to try to get this leaf to stick onto the mirrored cardstock, and we'll see how that goes. So I'm just going to flip this over and place it kind of like right in the center. And I'm going to give that just a little press down while I'm reading the comments here. Love this paper. We have all kinds of different colors and different textures of cardstock. Some are pearl, some are mirrored, some are more matte. And so you'll just have to kind of go through there and look and see, you know, what you need. I especially love some of the mirrored, especially the silver and the gold, because they're beautiful for sentiments and things. Especially if you want to die cut your sentiments. And so I think I'm going to leave this little guy. Do you see how he's stuck down, but the leaves are kind of, or the ends of the leaves are kind of curled up there? I kind of like that for a little bit of added dimension and added texture. Okay, so I'm going to go on with the sentiment. Now, this sentiment is from our Inside Birthday sentiments. And I wanted to keep it really simple for a more masculine card. Let me show you. And I've got my little stack of goodies over here, if I can find them. This stamp set. And these are really small, narrow sentiments that are great to put on the inside, but I like them on the outside too, just for a little narrow sentiment. So this says, thinking of you on your birthday and wishing you everything happy. And I heat embossed the sentiment in the same gold as the leaf. And so the gold, I think, really broke up the greens. And so I'm liking that. I'm actually going to pop this up with a little bit of these little foam strips. Let's see here. Love, love, love the mirrored cardstock. Yes, they are fun. And I think I'm going to have to put 2 strips down. That way we don't have a floppy little sentiment strip going here. And then I'll just peel off the backers. Yeah, the green is fun. And of course, when I did all this on Monday night in the last live, I didn't know where I was going with making cards out of these. And so I sat today and really went through my die cuts and my stash and things like that to pull out, you know, some pretty things that I could do, you know, different types of cards. Okay, now look how simple that is. But we've got lots of sparkle with the mirrored cardstock. And then, of course, that really pretty leaf and the gold embossing powder with the sentiments. And now I have a really nice birthday card that I can set aside here. Okay, so there's card number 1. I'm going to set that aside. And now we're going to work on this little background. This was created with the Spring Meadow embossing folder. See all that beautiful detail in there. And all I did was emboss it on the hot pink paper and then gently rub a white ink pad over the top. Now let's create something really pretty with that. So I'm going to add this to a white card base. And you can see I have cut my little backgrounds down. I like to do that. You don't necessarily have to do that to yours if you want it to stretch, you know, from corner to corner on your card base. But if you look here, even the back side of that is really pretty. So you could really use either side. And I'm going to smear this glue all over to hit some of those flat points there. And then I'm going to lay this down. And I always like to hold mine up to make sure I can kind of wiggle it around for a minute to make sure everything is kind of nice and straight. And I'm going to give it a press. Let's see, a white wax would be pretty to run over it too. You know, I thought about waxes. I have some of the Ranger, the Tim Holtz Foundry waxes, which are a metallic. And after we finished the other night, I thought, oh, that would have been really pretty on one of the backgrounds. But I forgot about that, of course. Okay, so I'm going to use the same leaf as we did on this card. I just have it cut out of kind of a limey green cardstock. But look how pretty and springy that is with the hot pink. And so I'm kind of sticking with the same dyes here with the greenery. And I've cut a little spot, a little landing place for my sentiment and kind of do my die cut here. And then I'm going to use the buzzword thanks. And I've cut it 3 times out of the same pink cardstock as my background. But if I layer all this together here, now see how pretty and springy that's going to be? And then I could add, you know, some little pearls or some little gem stickers or sequins or whatever I wanted to add. So let's go ahead and let's add our little white landing spot. And this was cut with the stitched and scalloped rectangles. I think that there are 2 sets of those. There's an A2 size, and then there's also an A7 size. So if you're a 5x7 card maker, you may want to pick up the A7 size, and then A2 is more for this size of card, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Okay, so now we've got our little landing place there, but you could use a circle or just a plain rectangle or stitched or whatever you have. And I'm going to do this kind of the same way as I did on our green card. I'm just going to hit some of those little areas. This time I'm going to lay him right over here and then have all those little glue spots grab hold. So I'm going to kind of press for a second. Let's see here. Just like that. And I think the leaf with the, you know, botanical kind of spring meadow background, I think that that's really pretty. Okay. And now we have our simple die cut sentiment. And so I'm just going to add a little bit of liquid adhesive, and I like to add it just into the thicker portions of these little dainty words. Just like that. And then I'm going to actually use the help of my tweezers here. It gets my fingers out of the way, and I can kind of see where I'm going to put everything. So I'm going to kind of nestle him right along here, and I can kind of, let me hold it up for a second. I want to make sure that it is nice and straight, and then I can really press that down. Look how pretty that is, and that thanks die cut just pops off the front. Now let's see here what little gems and things that I have. Happy hearts. These are the new ones. Let's see here. I've got green, pink, or I have white even. White even may be pretty, just to keep it nice and clean. Okay, so this is the warm pearls. These are my most favorite of the pearls so far that Melissa has made. Let's see here. Let's just do kind of a little sprinkling here of little white pearls, and it's going to give it just a little something, but it's going to blend in with the white as well. 1, 2. And I'm just going to kind of sprinkle them around here, and let's do one more right up there. And I'm actually going to move one of these. I'm going to do a little pearl surgery. There we go. Let's tuck it right in there. Here we go. Now we've got 2 totally different 3D embossed cards. Very cool. Okay, now this one is going to be not any more complicated. It's just going to have a little more layers to it. Okay, so this is the layer that we created on Monday night. This is the one that I was finally smart enough to get the dye ink out and do the coral background. And I cut one today, or made one just out of white, because I think I'm going to do some layers here. And you can see I cut it off. I rounded the corners just for a kind of different look. And we're just going to layer a bunch of this and use the same colors, but I could do like that's even pretty. Do you see that? How we can just layer, and these are the same dies, the stitched scalloped rectangles. And I might like it. Do I like it better with just the, like this? I think I might like it better like that. Do you guys? It's cleaner, isn't it? Okay. You guys tell me. Such a great layering idea. I like it when you prep the card base one night and come back. Yes. Where did this background come from? This background is the Clover Petals 3D embossing folder. All of the backgrounds are going to be made or with embossing folders. So this one is called Spring Meadow. This is the Clover Petal, and this is Clover Petal. See how you can get totally different looks out of it. Like this is going to be more kind of frilly and flowery. And this leans, I was hoping it leaned a little more masculine, a little more happy anniversary, a little more with sympathy. That's kind of what I was going for with the green and the gold. I think even wedding, depending on like the colors of the wedding. Let's see here. I like both cards. The coral print looks soft. Yes. I like it on the white. I do too. No, add the coral layer too. Okay, I'm getting conflicting. They both look good. I would say use all the layers. You should round the corners of the card base. Oh, I could totally round the corners of the card base. Let's do that. Okay, let me get my handy dandy tool out and make sure that I'm using the right side here. How many of you, tell me in the comments, still round your corners of things? Because I used to a lot when, like back in the scrapbooking days, but I don't do it as much as, come on now, I don't do it as much as I used to. There we go. Trying to make sure that these clip. Okay, I'm going to read the comment. Pretty. I always forget to round. I do too. Okay, so there's some rounded corners and there's some rounded corners. I wonder if I used the wrong side. We're going to look here. There we go. That's what we were missing. It does make a fun little, touch, a little different touch on your cards to round the corners. Okay, and we may as well use all the layers. Okay, so let's go ahead and start layering this up. So I'm going to start with the white one that I did, and I think it's beautiful just in white. Like there's really, you don't really have to do a lot to it because that embossing folder does all the work for you. Okay, I'm going to set this down and kind of eyeball it and get it nice and straight. Let me flip that around before I boo-boo it. How many of you, since I almost did that, have glued your card elements upside down onto your card? And I did catch it, thank goodness. Let's see here. Love the shape of the card. Kelley, if you pay for my plumbing work, I can buy more embossing folders. I know, right? I hear you. Here's the thing. Who was that? Well, that was Miss Lori. When it rains, it pours, right? It's always when you're a homeowner or any kind of owner, a vehicle owner, a child, parent, there's always something. Lori in the chat over there was telling me that she has to have all of her plumbing in her whole house redone. And so she's going through the process of getting the astronomical bids to have her plumbing done. And I was going to add some froofy ribbon. Let's see here. Do I add it to this one? Let's add it to both. I'm going to do card surgery. No, I'm not going to do it. That's making me nervous. Okay. I'm going to use some tape. So that's with everything. Our last house, before we moved here, we lived in Georgia. That you're going to get a little story time. As soon as we moved in, we hadn't even made like our first house payment or anything yet. And we move around a lot because my husband's in the military. For those of you who don't know, we hadn't even made our first house payment yet. And the air conditioning in South Georgia in the middle of the summer went out. And so that was not so fun. Okay, so this is just some of my crinkle ribbon, and I'm going to trim off the edge here. And this card is going to be a little more froofy, a little more feminine with all the things. But it's always something, especially I know my parents live in my grandparents' house. So it's actually the house that my dad grew up in. And so it was built in the 50s, and it's like they're constantly having to, redo the wiring or redo the plumbing or do, stuff like that. Okay. I'm liking this now that it's like all stuck down, the layers. I kind of like that. Okay. So what I have done here is I have stamped and colored and die cut this little tiny bouquet. And it is from the stamp set that is called, if I can find it here, it's called Just For You. And I'm looking here in my little stack of goodies. I want to show you because there's a lot of stuff in this stamp set. Oh, here, right on my desk, of course. So I've used this little bouquet, but there's 3 different little bouquets, and there's like little gifts. It's kind of like a little gifty stamp set. There's little washi and a little tag and scissors and little sentiments. I use this thanks here. You can see where that one is pulled out. But I thought, well, that's a cute little simple bouquet that I think will be sweet with the background and everything. So I think I'm going to place it kind of right over in here. And I've got a little bit of ribbon that matches. So I'm going to go ahead and add him down, and he's going to go way over here. And I think I'm going to, while this is kind of setting up, I'm going to let my tweezers hold that for me. And I'm going to add a little bit of dimension to the back of my die cut here. Let's see here. These 3D embossing folders are my new faves. Oh, cool. They're fun. Did you emboss before you die cut? On this? No, I actually, yes, I did. I embossed it first because I did those. I did all the embossing on Monday night for the live. And then we, during the live, I kind of inked it up and did whatever I was going to do to them. And then today I came back to prep for this live and had to figure out, okay, so I've got all these backgrounds now. What am I going to do to make these into cards? And so I actually die cut it today. Now this one that is on the top, I'll hold it up here in just a second. It flattened a little bit. But what saves the look is the ink that's in the background. And then this one you can see has a lot of texture because it was not die cut later. But all of them I cut down after the fact, and I used my little paper trimmer, and I didn't have any issues at all with it messing up the embossed. You have to be really careful. I will tell you that, because it will kind of snag and tear along the edges if, you slide I have one of the paper trimmers that has a slide blade on it. and it will tear if you're not really careful, or it will kind of wrinkle up the edges. And I'm just really super careful when I die cut these. Okay, I think, do we want it here or down in here? I think down in here even, maybe. And I'm going to nudge this little guy. I'm going to scooch him over just a hair. And then I think I want to add, if I can find them again, in my little pearl stash. Let's see here. These are the happy parts. What did I do with them? Oh, here they are. I want these itty bitty. Oh, I'm out of them. I'm going to use these little lime green ones and add to the centers of these little flowers. And then I'm going to call it done. Let's see here. I'm going to look up at the comments here. Let's see. Love this color. I love the color combination. It's very pretty. I like it too. And you see how normally I would leave like the area around the die white. I colored it all the same color as like the water in the vase and did it all in kind of a teal blue. And so all of this in the background here behind the flowers is all the blue color. And I think it kind of adds kind of a fun little touch without it being all, white from the die cut. I'm just going to place one more. There we go. And then I'm calling that one good. That one's got lots of stuff going on. Okay. So now we've got 3 totally different cards here. And this one and this one are using the same embossing folder. So totally different look here. And then this is the spring meadow, of course. Okay, so tell me in the comments there, which one is your favorite? Is your favorite the green, the pink, or the melon color? The green, the pink, or the melon? Let's see here. Lisa says, I love them all. That's a fun add-on touch. Yeah, and I was going to show you here. Let me hold it up. Where I told you I was going to show you this after it's die cut. Do you see how you still get the dimension there? You can still see the dimension. You can feel it, obviously. It's just not as deep and as defined as this. Okay, so let me see. The spring meadow embossing is my favorite. This one. Let's see, the pink or the melon. Let's see here. The melon one. Jay says, pink is so pretty. The green, Shell Bell says, this one is just classy looking. It's very elegant, I think. And the color on the screen comes across a lot more, like in person, of course, I think it's prettier in person. I wish the color and everything came across on screen the way that I see it through my eyeballs. Let's see here. All right, let me look here and we'll get flipped around here. And I'm still reading let's see, the green, the pink, and the melon. Oh, Christine is ranking them in order. The green, I really like them all. The melon, the green would be good for any occasion. Exactly, that I think so too. Even, it would be an easy sympathy card or something to whip up. Let's see, the pink card is my favorite because all the colors they're very springy. Okay. Maybe add a small pearl to the green one. You could. And we have gold pearls in this warm pearl set. Do you see the gold? Oh, wrong direction. I think I'm going to leave it because I've done it like a masculine card. I think I'm going to leave that one like it is. Let's see. I really like seeing different ways to use the same products. Me too. Now I'll tell you, on Monday night when I did these backgrounds, Lisa can tell you in the chat, I was sweating, like getting messy and inking things and trying stuff like that is not like, I do it, but like some of these, I don't know where the light. So that green, it dried okay. That one didn't work. This one was a hot mess. That one was a mess. That was a no-go. This one is a muddy mess. See, that was a no-go. This one was white. That one's fine. That was a tester. That one is a tester. This one we did, see the white on the black? And then this is sparkle. That is some of our Be Shimmery. So we tried all different kinds of things. This is silver on the flowers. It's hard to tell on the camera. And then this is a matte gold paper with green on the inside. Now this would be pretty kind of like this again, like to add like a little gold leaf or something like that. But I didn't know when we did these on Monday night where these were going, where it was going to go. So I was sweating, but we got it all worked out. Now today, and putting all the cards together and figuring out what I was going to do, that I enjoy that process. I really like that. Let's see. I'm going to have to get the flower folder. It's a good one. This one or this, both of them are great. This is almost like a basic geometric, even though it's not like a square or a circle or anything like that. It can go both masculine and feminine and kind of everyday-ish. And then this is, of course, is very floral, very botanical. Let's see, but we need to see you sweat so we don't panic when things get different. I mess up all the time. I mean, I just showed you all my boo-boos. And I did this live. I messed up live the other night. And you just work through it. And you know, a lot of times on the videos that I do for Honeybee on YouTube, I leave my boo-boos in there because a lot of people, you don't ever see their mess ups and what goes in the trash. I'll either fix it and tell you how I fix it, or I'll show you. There are no boo-boos. Each is unique. Yes. Let's see here. Did you use peach cardstock and then white ink over it? For this one, this is white cardstock with peach ink. And you can go back on the YouTube channel and see Monday's replay if you didn't watch it. This is the good one. This is after me saying, okay, we have to figure something out. Let's say it's great to see the designer is human. Yes, absolutely. I'm a crafter just like you guys. Let's see here. I always mess up on the inside sentiment after all the hard work is done on the front. Get you a little, make a die cut on the inside. And where you've stamped it, you know, if you do a boo-boo, when you stamp it, do like a strip of paper like I did on this one and just go right over the top of it and nobody's ever going to know. Yes, you can find a way to use it another way. Like some of these, like this one, I think, the green, if I tilt it in the light, that would be pretty cut down and used like this one. That sagey green, that would be pretty with flowers or something on top of it. I really like all of them, says Sherry, but I really appreciate the masculine because I struggle doing those. I do too. And you know what? I think that's totally a thing. I think a lot of people have trouble with masculine stuff. And in fact, Honeybee is taking part in the Crop and Create event for Scrapbook and Cards Today magazine. and a lot of crafters were requesting masculine cards and projects. So it's everybody does that. Let's see, I'll be watching Monday's video. Yes, normally I will say, because I got some questions. Normally I'm on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and Tuesday night I had a conflict in my time, so that's why I did it on Monday. Normally that does not happen very often at all, that I have to switch days, but I will always put the link on Instagram and put the reminder on Instagram and on Facebook as well. And here on YouTube, I put the little reminder up. So if you pop in there and see it pop up, like when you check your Facebook or Instagram or whatever, that's how you'll know that it's on that day. Let's see, I always mess up on the inside or stamp with a platform. Yes, I missed that somehow. There's always a way to cover things up. Yes, there is. I'll be watching Monday's video. Perfect. Okay, I think we're all cut up here. So if Lisa, if you want to go ahead and choose our winner for this evening. Let's see here. You're welcome, Miss Gail. It was fun. Let's see, Kelley, what's your favorite type of cards to make? Always rejoicing. My favorite type. I think this. I like all the things. I like all the layers. I like all the ink. I like all the little pearls. I like all the stuff. I like all that. And let's see here. Lisa says, Gail Spresser, you're the winner. Congratulations, Gail. And what's so fun is you'll have to look up. There's a card maker that I have loved for many, many years. Miss Gail, if you'll email me, Kelley, Kelley at honeybeestamps.com. A card maker that I have loved for many, many years. Her name is Melissa Phillips, and I've followed her since I first started making cards years and years ago. And Melissa is now on our design team, and I'm like, oh, she is this type of card maker. Lots of layers, lots of little pretty things, and her color combinations and the way that she layers paper is magic. So you guys are really going to enjoy her and seeing her work with honeybee stuff, because I know I am super excited. Okay. All right, you guys. Thanks for joining me tonight. I will be back at our normal time on Tuesday and Thursday of next week. So I hope you'll come back and join me then. And you never know what we'll come up with. So I'll put something together for you. You guys come back and chat. Have a great, great weekend, and I'll see you next week. Bye, friends.